Hey guys, B.O.L.T here for Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. So anyways, we're coming back to this not as a revisiting, but as an add-on. So apparently there's supposed to be new cutscenes and scenes and poems in here, so we're going to give it a try. So of course I did not get the warning, this is not suitable for children. Individuals suffering from anxiety or depression may not have a positive experience playing this game, and all the characters are depicted as 18. Would you like to review detailed contents which contain? Yes, we already played this game, so thank you for any interest. It's a horror game. Please do not take this lightly. Doki Doki Literature Club may not be suitable for you if you are affected by any of the following themes: depression, suicide, self-harm, abuse. These themes are not merely suggested but often portrayed as realistic as possible, and thus may disturb you as if they were real. So, suicide and depression, self-harm, and abuse. Furthermore, the above listed are not 100% exhaustive. If you would like to be warned, more potential sensitive content is about to occur, which playing the game detail content warning can be enabled in the settings. For those who have extra concern for their mental health, our recommendation of safety approaches to avoid playing this game. We trust you, given understanding of your own mental health, you're able to make the decision this is right for you. Thank you for your consideration and for staying safe. I agree. Because a big thing apparently was everyone kept saying this is a children's game. It says right there, not suitable for children. You are not to play this game in any of those circumstances. And any parent that sees this game as such, I suggest you stop. Because no, this is not for children. You are not to allow your children to watch this. I'm probably going to put this on 18 plus. That way I can avoid any problems in the future. So please watch those warnings. Hey! I can see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like total oblivious to any attention she might be drawn to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and my good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you've never seen yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you know each other for so long. We used to walk to school together as days like this, but starting around high school, I'm actually starting to get a lot of stuff. She would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting. But if she was going to chase after me like this, I feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. I overslept again. I caught you this time. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. And you say that like you're gonna think about ignoring me. That's a mean bolt. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine. But did you wait for me after all? You did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you wanted to. Whatever you say, Sayori. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, B.O.L.T, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already, I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't even been looking either. Eh? That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori thinks worrying a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content with just being by the average while spending my free time on games and anime. I was talking about how I worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Happiness is really important to me, you know. And I know you're happy now, but I'd die at thought of you becoming neat. In a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises though. Will you at least promise you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise that. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I promised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her own head. The school day is very ordinary as ever. It's over before I know it. After I pack my things, I stare blankly at the wall looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting there and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait for me. It's just, if it's going to make you late to your own club, well, I thought you might need some encouragement. So I thought, you know what? Well, that you would come to my club. Sayori. Yeah? There is no way I'm going to your club. Mimi? Sayori is vice principal of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title of vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Don't make promises you can't keep. Sayori. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead or if she's so cunning as to just have played all of this out. I let it out a long sigh. Fine. I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go. And thus today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs a section of the school I rarely visit. Sayori, full of energy, swings the classroom door opens. Everyone, the new member is here. I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Welcome to the literature club. It is a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Bull, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is the one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. She's also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You just ignore her, but she gets really moody. Sayori says that quietly in my ear, that then turns back before the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy, and this is Sayori, the smartest in the club. Don't say such thing. Yori, who appears comparatively more mature, timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Oh, well, it's nice meeting both of you. It sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Volt. Monica smiled sweetly. We don't know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, and athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So, having her smile at me genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica. Come sit down, Bolt. We made room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them, I get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desk arranges to a form of a table. As Sayori mentioned, it is widened so that there is one more space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yori walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Wow! She lifts the foil to tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing. The little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Hey, well, you know. Just hurry, take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica, I follow. It's delicious. Sayori talks with a whole mouthful. She's already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking at the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. She waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet, full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Well, why are you thanking me? It's not like haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything? I thought you technically did. Sayori did. Well, maybe. But not for you, you dummy. Alright. I give up Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before settling down with the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yours is trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted. Yori looks away. I meant that, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but at least I enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow that smiles at me. So what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happier, so that's okay. Don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it is my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member of any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, to be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. I feel like nothing's arguing about the budget, the publicity, and how to prepare for events. I've made rather take something I personally enjoy, make something special out of it. And if it encourage others to get into the literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader. Yuri nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised that there weren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes schools events like festivals that just more important. I'm confident that we are really growing this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You knew it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they're all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, but what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I really don't have a really good way of answering that. Manga. I mutter quietly to myself, half jokingly. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something but keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke everything without thinking after saying Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. She traces the rim of her teacup with her fingers. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story is such a foreign world and equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but obviously, by the way, her eyes light up and she's finding her comfort in the world of books, not people. But I like a lot of things. Stories with deep physical, psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you through a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to the minimum level. At this rate, she might as well have a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you, I guess you could say that. But if a story makes you think or takes me into another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful as changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, I guess her eyes dart over for me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last class club meeting. It looked like you were writing a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud, and give that back. Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is so cute as you are. Sayuri slides by behind Natsuki, puts her hands on her shoulders. I am not cute. Natsuki, write your own poems. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them? I'm not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have any writing experience, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example to help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. I wanted to read everyone's poems. Everyone sits in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Everyone's looking around quizzingly at Monica. Let's all go home, write a poem of our own. The next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think we can help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Boulder? She smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said that I would be joining the club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare at me with dejected eyes. But I'm sorry, I thought. B.O.L.T? I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to be able to clear-headed decision when it's like this? My writing poem is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Alright. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls lights up. Yes, I'm so happy. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey. You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Writing a poem to bring to the next meeting so that we can share. Looks over at me once more. Bolt, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing? I really feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Bolt, since you're already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right. Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she's always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! With that, the two of us depart the club and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monica. Will I really be able to spend it every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have a chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whomever likes your poems. So I think I mained Sayori. So I think a Natsuki run is what we're going to do. Swirl. Nimble. Okay, that's not really. Okay, this is kind of. Okay, I'm starting to fucking get Sayori. Hi again, Bolt. Glad to see that you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back to the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Bolt. I hope this is too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like you deserved any slack. Clary told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know it. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the classroom. Finds herself stuck between Monica and manga. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, she plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Bolt always gives in his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sorry, that's because your room is so messy. It's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come you and Bolt can become good friends too? Sayori. As usual, she's oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh. Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayori? Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. So you made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri. I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue this situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Well, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright, well here. Reaches out in her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And if we could, discuss it if you wanted. This is how is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. You already think I'll definitely read this. And enthusiastically take the book. Well, if you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So Yuri and Monica have a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I hear Monica and Natsuki utter an expredded sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Freaking Monica. She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone else is just going to mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga? You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit that you're really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know anyway? I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's some kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the shelf of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is. Natsuki snatches it out of my hand, then she turns to the box of manga, slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Much better. Seeing a box with one book missing, probably the most irritating sight in the world. I know that feeling. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. Parfait Girls? It's a series I've never seen or heard of in my life. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can do it through the glass of that door. She points at the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone in your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, B.O.L.T. Considering this a lesson straight from the literature club, don't judge a book by its cover. In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of the Parfait Girls from the box. I'm going to show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in a colorful attire, striking animated, feminine poses. It's exceedingly Mo. Don't just stand there. What? She grabs my arm, pulls me out of the closet, then takes me to a seat against the wall beneath the windowsills. Take a seat. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read manga at the same. We can't read at the same time like that. Why is that? I guess it's easier to be closer like this. Don't just say that. You'll make me feel weird about it. Crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me. Sorry, I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Now that I can say it's a particular bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. I feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? Not really. Maybe sometimes after I already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention? I am, but nothing really happened yet, so I talk at the same time. It's like it's a bunch of friends in high school, typical slice of life affair. I kind of grew out of these. Since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. So, what should I expect from this? Is there going to be a plot? Well, obviously. You think I can just enjoy something that didn't have a plot? I mean, well, I guess I know what you're saying. A lot of the beginning is about simple things. Like, there's a really funny chapter where they're obsessed with a guy at an ice cream shop, but that just helps you get to know the characters. And besides, it's still entertaining, but later on there's some kind of drama, like when they're getting into all these backstories, and when some of the romance starts to happen, that's really what makes it so good. There are so many touching parts. Is it that good? It sounds like that you really know what you're talking about. Maybe I underestimated you. Hey, wait. What's that supposed to mean? What? She gives me a little shove. I just meant that I haven't yet seen you at your full power. Good save. Good save. This chapter seems like it's just baking. This is just a guess, but there is a lot of baking in this manga. Well, she pauses for a moment as she doesn't want to admit something. Yeah. Why does that matter? It doesn't. I'm just curious. Since you enjoy baking too, right? That's just a coincidence. I just happened to get into baking around the same time I got this manga. Like, I would ever get into anything because it's in a manga. I feel bad for anyone that's that impressionable. Definitely not a coincidence. I guess that explains Natsuki's interest in baking. Still, of all the hobbies to pick up from manga, that's definitely one of the better ones. Not to mention she's really good at it, so what am I just? Cute face. The cute face!
We read it for a few more minutes. I finished a couple chapters at the end point. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not. Even though you're just watching me read, well, I'm fine with that. If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't? That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Jeez. Sorry. Well, I could ever get my friends to read this. Like, I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga is for kids. I can't even bring it up without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch them in the face. Ugh, I know these kind of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who won't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated towards the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. I don't even know what my dad would do if he found this. At least it's safe here in the classroom. Except Monica was kind of a jerk about it. I can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am reading it.
Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So... Geez, that's enough. Are you really gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flipped the page. Suddenly the Natsuki starts to laugh. I totally forgot that happens. Natsuki points to one of the panels. Minori is my favorite character. She always feels a little bit bad for her. I always feel a little bit bad for her since she's very unlucky. But it gets especially bad when... I shouldn't be talking about that yet. I just finished this chapter. Natsuki's voice sparkles with excitement. It's a stark contrast to her usual bossy tone. But it's not used to sharing her favorite manga with her friends. I can understand why. It's hard to express in words the feeling you get when you're connecting with someone like that. being able to provide that to Natsuki, for whom it is rarely experienced. The thought makes me feel a little to myself. Okay, everyone. Are you all ready for today's poem? Oh, come on. Could your timing be any worse? Sorry, I just need to make sure we have enough time. Though you do look pretty cozy over there, haha. Suddenly notices how close she's gotten to me. She hastily slides herself a good 12 inches away from me. Alright, guess I'll stop here for now. I close the book and hand it to Natsuki. You're just gonna give it back? Don't you want to know what happens? Oh, yeah, but Monica just said, don't be dumb. Just take it home with you. Is that alright? Really alright? I say that mostly because I didn't plan on using my spare time to read this. Well, of course. It would take forever to finish it if you didn't take it home. Just finish that one before tomorrow so we can start the next one. And if it gets spent, I'll kill you. By tomorrow, I only got partway through the volume so far. I might fall behind for some shows if I try to get through this. But I suppose that's necessarily a sacrifice for exchange for seeing Natsuki enthusiastic face. Or am I more scared of what really happened if I don't finish it? Alright then, I stand up, I return where I put my stuff and carefully slide the book into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write your poem last night? Yeah? My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I really had to find my inspiration since I've really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share? I can't wait. Alright, the actions I'm just gonna skip through, it takes forever. Alright. I'll save here and end it. And then I'll start the next one.